So look at all this, guys. I just spent all night baking all this. Over here we've got a pecan pie, vegan of course, some pumpkin spice donuts. I've got a chocolate glaze, a maple glaze, and a plain vanilla frosting glaze. Got some oatmeal cookies with pecans and chocolate chips. Also vegan. All of it's vegan, obviously. And some cinnamon buns. Can't wait to eat this tomorrow. Alright, vegan mozzarella cheese recipe. This is amazing. I tried it for New Year's. It is just like mozzarella cheese. And all you're going to need for this recipe is 1/4 cup of cashews, 1 cup hot water, 1/2 teaspoon nutritional yeast, 2.5 tablespoons of tapioca flour, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and you can add 3/4 teaspoons of salt, but that's optional. And just a little disclaimer, if you don't have a very powerful blender like a Vitamix, then you will need to soak the cashews for several hours to soften them up. Now put all the ingredients in the blender and blend on high. And now that our mixture is made, we're going to pour it in the pan, put it on high, and this will cook very quickly. You're going to see lumps start to form, and just start to stir. And once you see these lumps forming, put it down to medium. And now we're done. This melts and stretches just like real cheese. It goes great on pizza, and I'm going to share my pizza recipe with you guys later on, so subscribe to Vegan Gains to see that, and until next time.
What a relief! When will this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You can believe it or you can doubt it. Let us begin now with the cow. The way it gets to your plate and how.
Okay, to make this pizza, you're going to need some whole wheat flour, some dry active yeast, and make sure it's normal dry active yeast. Don't get quick acting yeast because that stuff just has no flavor. Get some sucanat or just some normal sugar, and some maple syrup. And you're going to need a big cast iron pan. First, grab 3/4 of a cup of water, put in a tablespoon of sugar, and about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and heat that up in the microwave just hot enough to feel warm to the touch, but not hot enough to burn. You're going to put your yeast in this, and if it's too hot, then it'll just kill your yeast. Now pour in your packet of yeast, and just stir that a little bit and set it aside for a few minutes. And while you're waiting, put in 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour into a large bowl, and you can also add in any spices you want, like garlic powder. Now that the yeast has risen, you're going to pour that into the flour, and you're just going to mix it up. Next up, grab a handful of flour and spread that over your work surface, and grab the dough, and you're going to knead the dough for about 5 minutes, and that just means you're going to keep folding the dough over and over again. Once your dough is kneaded, just roll it up into a ball and put it on a plate and cover it with some saran wrap, and you're going to leave that in the refrigerator for 24 hours. And now it's been 24 hours, you're going to take the dough out and leave it on the counter for an hour to rise some more. And while you're waiting for the dough to rise, you're going to put the cast iron pan in the oven, and you're going to turn the oven up to full blast. Once the oven has reached its peak temperature, you're going to leave the pan in there for at least half an hour, ideally an hour, so that the pan becomes the same temperature as the oven. And right here, after half an hour, I've just rolled the dough out some more, and I'm just going to knead it a little bit and just roll it back up into a ball just to get any air bubbles out. And now that the dough is fully risen after an hour, you're going to put a little bit more flour on your work surface, and you're just going to stretch out the dough into a pizza pie. And once you have the dough stretched out, you're going to have to put it on something that you can use to slide it onto the hot pan. I don't know what this is that I'm using, but a flat tinfoil plate works well. Now spread on your sauce, and you can put whatever toppings you want on here, and I'm just going to use entirely shiitake mushrooms. Now take the big cast iron skillet out of the oven, and you're going to slide your pizza onto the pan, and then you're just going to put it right back in the oven, and it should take about 8 minutes to cook. And after about 8 minutes, your pizza should be done, so just take it out of the oven and put it on a cutting board and slice it up. I hope you all enjoy this recipe, and always make sure to carb the fuck up and subscribe to Vegan Gains to see more, and I'll see you next time.
Beef, what a relief. When will this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You can believe it or you can doubt it. Let us begin now with the cow, the way it gets to your plate.
Okay, so I thought I'd make this recipe showing a healthier vegan alternative, but I just wanted to make a disclaimer before I make these. These are still very unhealthy. You should really eat these only on special occasions. So with that out of the way, let's make some Cadbury cream eggs. So what you're going to need are some big juicy medjool dates, some powdered sugar, some chocolate chips, vegan of course, and some almond milk. First pour in a little tiny bit of almond milk, little by little, into the powdered sugar. You don't want to pour in too much at once because then the mixture might become too liquidy. So pour it in little by little until you get a consistency that's sort of like the cream in a Cadbury cream egg. And if you want, during the step, you can add in some vanilla as well. Next, we have to melt down our chocolate chips, so put those chocolate chips in a bowl, put it in the microwave, and start at 30 seconds, but each time after that, only use 15 seconds at a time because you want to be careful not to burn the chips. And after each 15 seconds, mix the chips around a bit to make sure they're getting evenly heated. And this might take 3-4 times in the microwave to get them melted down completely. And once the chocolate is all melted, you want to get a plate with your pitted dates and get another large plate covered with some parchment paper. And you're just going to stuff the sugar into the dates and then dip the dates in the chocolate and then put it down on the parchment paper. And once the plate is full, just pop it into the fridge to let the chocolate harden. And you can do this exact same thing with nut butter, and it's probably a lot healthier too, and it kind of makes them taste like Reese's peanut butter cups. So just same thing, stuff your nut butter into the dates, and then coat it with chocolate, put it on the parchment paper, and then let it cool in the fridge. And here's how they look when the chocolate is set. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe, but hopefully not too much. Hope everybody enjoys their Easter, aka Zombie Day. Keep making those vegan gains, and I'll see you next time.
Beef. What a relief. When will this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You can believe it or you can doubt it. Let us begin now with the cow. The way it gets to your plate and how.